just out of the window to Dubai. Anyone that's listening or watching, I have Erica and Marlon from BonApp, which is a really interesting new app here in the UAE. It's built on sustainability and the food industry, and I'm going to let them take over and just talk about it directly. So if you guys just want to explain the concept behind it and then go into why and how you guys chose to do it in UAE and all of that.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, thank you, William.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
So basically, we created this app because we wanted to do something which would, make it easy for people to do something daily that has a good impact on the society and the environment.
Yeah.
And we are very passionate about a sustainable way of living, coming from Scandinavia, that's, pretty much adopted in everyday life. And we all felt a bit guilty about the lifestyle we lead here. We always take the car everywhere, always have the AC on, go to brunches where we know a lot of food is wasted. So then we just thought let's do something to do at least a bit of a contribution to that. And then we came up with BonApp. So the name BonApp was Marlene's idea. Marlene used to live in Brussels, so she knows French fluently. So obviously from Bon Appetit, which everybody knows what it means.
Yeah, it's a great name, actually. It's a great name.
Yeah, and also BonApp, it's a good app. You do something good.
Yeah.
Marlene, you can tell a bit more about the concept.
Just real quickly, because I felt like the main concept was just missed there. So basically, the point of the app is that restaurants have food that's disposable and being wasted on a daily basis.
Yeah, so it's a platform for restaurants to daily look at whatever do they have that they know that if they don't sell it, they need to throw it away. Mm-hmm. So then the solution for them is to post a deal on BonApp, which customers in the nearby area will get a notification whenever the deal is on. They will buy it through the app at a discounted price, up to 60%. And enjoy a good fresh meal when it's still obviously fresh before it expires. And also, obviously, the restaurant will make some money of that food that otherwise would be thrown
Otherwise,
away.
that would be wasted.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So we like to call it like a triple win solution for restaurant, the customer, and for the environment.
Yes, awesome. No, it's a great concept. So how did you guys come up with this idea? What's the background of that brought you to finally launch it?
So, we've been living in the UAE for quite some time, actually. So, we're 3 co-founders. Alice, who is not here today. And me and Alice have kind of a similar background. We used to work in financial services for a little bit more than 5 years. Erica comes from sustainability kind of sector, so she might be more suited for what we're actually trying to do. But as Erica mentioned, we wanted to start a business of our own. It did take us a lot of time because obviously you come here, you're very busy with your full-time work, and also to find the idea. And the idea of BonApp really came from our own frustration from seeing the amount of food that is being thrown away every day. As Erica mentioned, we, as everyone goes to brunches every now and then, and just you kind of see how much food there is left all the time, and it breaks your heart in many ways, So we started to think about, is there anything we can do in this regard? We took a lot of inspiration actually from Scandinavia, from our home countries, where there exist similar concepts, where actually they started to come up with similar concepts. Either, they work with grocery stores, groceries that are soon to expire, or apps that works with maybe hotels or even the restaurant business. So we said, okay, let's see if we can somehow take this inspiration, bring it to this market, and build a product of it, what we can do. So the first concern that we have actually, because this was back in November 2016, when we kind of came up with the idea. The first concern was, will pushing on sustainability, does that work here?
Yeah.
Because obviously that's our background, how we were, brought up. But
and so far the feedback is...
So it did take us a few months. We were kind of back and forth, saying that, okay, we know the problem exists. We started to do our market research, we spoke to the restaurants, and they all basically said, yeah, we throw a lot of food, and it costs us a lot.
Yeah,
but
because
then bringing
it's not just
in
the waste, it's the disposing of it. It's got to be that costly too, right?
Yeah, exactly. We were actually lucky that later on last year, or beginning of last year really, Sheikh Mohammed, he actually put reducing food waste as one of his priorities on the agenda. And that's basically when we said, yes, you know, the time has come, you know, let's do this. And well, the response has been as well, everyone kind of, you know, the problem is there. But we found as well that talking about food waste, it sounds like it's old food, right? So it's been going in, we've been doing a lot of educating the market, let's say, both kind of customers, you know, from speaking to our friends and colleagues here, and also the restaurants. Most of the time when you start explaining the concept, they would be, oh yeah, okay, you're a charity, or but you know, do you have license to sell old food? And then you'd be like, well, it's not really what we're trying to do. And then when they finally understand it, they say, we love the concept. You know, why didn't someone come up with this earlier? But you know, it takes a bit of time to actually reach there.
And so is it an initiative where you're just going restaurant by restaurant right now? Are you guys also focused on supermarkets and that industry, or just restaurants?
No, we started the conversations with supermarkets as well.
Yeah.
And we actually, our aim is to work like with the whole F&B production chain. So all the way from the farms to the shops to restaurants. So we're trying to look at wherever, you know, food is wasted really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far we only have restaurants on the app, but we're definitely talking to supermarkets and see how we can get that implemented as well.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, starting the whole process, what was it like going from employee to like business owners and starting a business and that? Because, you know, there's a lot of anxiety from going from
it's scary.
paycheck, and you're also not just starting a business, but you're starting kind of a unique, specific niche. So it's even a little bit, I wouldn't say harder, but probably a little more time investment up front to get it going versus mine. I have a digital marketing company. Everybody uses SEO. It's not like I'm reinventing something when I go to like a new market or something.
Yeah, and everything takes longer than you anticipate, so...
Yeah. No, I think for us as well, and that's part of why it took a bit of time as well to get it launched, because the idea came, as I said, November 2016. We started to build on the app, and basically that was savings that we had ourselves. But it took until April for me before I finally said, okay, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to take the jump. Yeah. And it was just something I wanted to do for a very long time. I've always wanted to have my own business. I just never knew exactly what is it that I'm, you know, passionate about. What is it that I want to do? Yeah. And also something that I believe so strongly in. So I think somehow that just came together. And also the team that, of course, finding, you know, Alice and Erica to do this thing with, because the team, you know, it's everything really. You can have a good idea, but if you don't have a supporting team that's gonna bring this idea into, you know, a reality, then, you know, you need to feel that trust and as well, you know.
Yeah, definitely. No, I totally. One of the things I say, I talk about on Instagram a lot, is you know, you build your team and they build your business, because as an individual you just can't do it. There's just too many moving parts, and you know, you're good at one thing, and that, like, I'm very good at sales and marketing, but operational and all this stuff that you see, I could never do it. Someone else had to build all of this. I may have had a great idea, but once I was done with that, someone else had to do the rest, you know? So it's like one of those things where you have to have people on your team that help you do it, you know? It's definitely how it is. Yeah. So overall, just starting up in UAE, what has that been like realistically, just kind of getting the process going? Because for me, you know, it took a little bit of time, just the process from, okay, I paid my license fee to the time I opened a bank account was probably the longest I've ever experienced. But I also understand that, you know, it's you're a foreigner opening a company, so it's not going to go like when I open a company in the United States, I go down to the Corporation Commission, I get a piece of paper, and I go to the bank, and I'm an owner, you know. Yeah. But here it's a lot longer process, and you guys are out of Abu Dhabi, right, which is a sustainability free zone.
Yeah, so we decided to go with Masdar city because of the sustainability angle. But we did have a look into other solutions as well. But we decided that would be the best one. But yeah, that's definitely one of the most frustrating parts, to actually get the license, you know, pay all your fees and
it's
all
quite
the
expensive,
bureaucracy.
if you compare to, I mean, in Sweden it would take, I think, a day, and it doesn't cost you more than 25 dirhams probably to send in a paper, you know. That's it, and then you're a business.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, it's also because if you're a Sweden citizen, it's easier, right? Because that's why sometimes when I compare it, I recognize, well, I'm not a citizen, so it's a lot more checks and balances that my process has to go through. But the way I view Dubai and just kind of getting started in the UAE, and what I've seen so far is that in the United States, when I start a business, I can start quickly, but it kind of, the opportunity is a little bit slower to come. What I've noticed here is that it's a little costly to get started, but the amount of economic opportunity, if you can get it right, can turn up very fast. You can move a lot quicker, and so there's a kind of a trade-off in that sense, you know. And what have you guys done now that you kind of are launched? And I know there's still like product development stuff that are going on, and we were talking about marketing. What are you guys doing to kind of get the word out and you know, kind of promote the product? Because you have really two sides, right? You have the restaurant side and you have the consumer side, and you kind of got to do both at the same time, because you can't have a whole bunch of restaurants and then no one to sell food to, and you can't have a whole bunch of people to sell food to and no food, you know? So it's kind of like you have to do both simultaneously.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Well, we've been quite lucky in the sense, because we have the sustainability angle, we've gotten a lot of free publicity. We've been on podcasts, you know, magazines, various interviews.
So a lot of
with you.
Organic content.
So that's we're trying to do organic as much as we can. A lot of social media, influencers. And then we're just out talking to people, getting ambassadors.
Restaurants are as well helping us to get that push.
Yeah, that's very important, of course, to get them as well to the network they already have.
Especially in social media, and also just telling their customers about us. So that has been actually a big, you know, chunk of our success so far. I mean, it's still very early days, but we've got much better traction actually than, you know, what we anticipated. Both from restaurants and from customers. So, you know.
And social media wise, is it mostly Instagram? What are you guys focused on as far as social media?
Yeah, mostly Instagram, definitely.
I would definitely still consider LinkedIn. It's a really good B2B. I personally have been very successful with my LinkedIn, and I've done very well, I could tell you, indirectly, because I'm a B2B, right? Like most of my business is not to a consumer, it's mostly to other businesses. And really putting out consistent content on my LinkedIn has really brought me a lot of people that are seeing my content and they're reaching out to me. So I think you should definitely consider investing some in your LinkedIn, and not necessarily paid, but it just the organic and the ability to network with and find the people that are the restaurant owners or the positions that you know are important. You can target them, and you can even get like a premium account for like $40 a month, and you can send up to 10 emails to people that are not connected to you, but you know they are the identified title or person in a company that you want to get in front of, but you necessarily can't call and say, okay, hey, but you can inbox him. And at least put that message in front of him and try to get in front of him. So I think LinkedIn is still a good option for you guys.
Thanks for the tip.
Thank you.
And so you guys mentioned marketing budget. You guys are not investing a ton in marketing right now. It's more organic. I would say another thing that you guys can really look at is Instagram. Some small paid ads, but do you guys have a Facebook page as well?
Yeah, we do.
So you can link those. If they're not linked, you can link them now. And when you link them, you can create a demographic targeting. And I could even show you guys real quickly how to do it. It's very simple. How you can target people that are downloading other food apps, kind of like what we were talking about before we got started. And that's a really effective way on the consumer side to really kind of get out there and produce that, I don't know if best word to use right now, but targeting to get your app in front of people that are already downloading food type apps?
Yeah, for sure. We've tried a little bit of paid ads. It's actually Alice, the third co-founder, who is the marketing pro amongst us three. So
no, it's definitely worth looking into. I can send you guys an email and explain it. That way you guys can try it out. It's pretty easy once you try it out a couple times. But you can definitely do it based on food apps, and can help you with that for sure.
Sounds
and so
great.
once you guys have, what is the ultimate goal? Like what is the big vision of BonApp? Where are you guys trying to take it, and what's the kind of bigger vision that you want with this?
I mean, we have in two ways, you could say. First of all, we would like to try to help any food provider in the F&B value chain to reduce their food waste. And so that's obviously a lot of different partners that you could work with. The immediate next step is to expand to the rest of the UAE, but also obviously to take it further. So GCC as the next step after that.
Wow.
So that's kind of our main focus, at least, in not too distant future, let's say.
And is this something you guys think that you would go and get investors for at some point, or you guys want to maintain self-funding and keep that anonymity to kind of keep the creative control?
No, for sure. I think being a food app as well, it does require I think investments to become big and to grow big quickly. You also see that good concepts, they always get copied as well, either by smaller kind of businesses, or potentially also bigger ones. So I think it's important as well to move quite quickly, just to get your business or to get the market really.
Have you guys started that process, or you're not at that stage yet?
We have actually investors on board, angel investors so far. Institutional investors will, it will come a little bit later. But for sure, before an expansion, we would need more kind of financial support. Especially in the beginning. It does take a little bit of time, If you would bootstrap, I think you would probably not be able to expand as quickly as, we want to. No,
totally makes sense. And is there any specific restaurants that you guys are working with now that maybe you want to share some stories about how it's working and what you've done with them so far?
Well, I would maybe say Appetite the Shop and Panifico, which are the ones who are doing really, really well. Obviously, they have grab-to-go products, so it's easy for them. They know at a certain time of day, they know if we don't sell all of these, we will throw them because they can't sell them the next day. But they also offer 50% off, and they have standardized timings, so the customers know that every day at 4 o'clock, they put 50%. So they have already a big bunch of regular customers who go every day, and they sell everything.
And it's also nice brands, I think. They have a lot of, they have a big customer base as well.
Yeah, and they immediately understood the concept, like they were really, really fond of the idea. And obviously soon we can show actual numbers, like we have saved this amount of food, and this amount of CO2 emissions has been reduced due to that, for example. So we are really looking forward to, I think in a month's time, after we've been on the market for 3 months, we'll start pulling out those figures as well.
And you're talking about not just the savings for the restaurant, but the actual...
No, the amount of food, that otherwise would have gone to a landfill, for example. So... And what it actually means.
So you guys are tracking that data as well.
Awesome. No, what it actually means.
And I think as well, when you speak about food waste, and people don't always make the connection between food waste and CO2 emissions, for example. But it is actually the amount of waste that you throw. First of all, it's been harvested somewhere, then of course transported, then prepared. But if you don't sell it then, it means that it's also going to be, transported somewhere else. It may be, fridges, transportation, specific transportation carts. And then when it ends up in the landfills, which normally is for food waste, that as well, decompositioning of food waste is causing a lot of CO2 emissions. So I know there's a saying or just for people to understand, we normally say that if you could reduce food waste by only 15%, it would actually mean the same amount in reduction of CO2 emissions as taking out 150,000 cars off the roads.
And this is in the UAE.
Yeah.
This is just in the UAE.
Yeah. So this gives numbers of how much that is actually causing, because a lot of people would think, okay, it's an economic obviously cost and also a moral one, because people are, we're having too much food that we cannot even eat, and then there's people who doesn't have any. But it's also, a climate, very important climate.
Wow, I really never thought about that. You
you
just think it gets thrown in the trash and it's done.
And that's it.
You don't have to think about it after that.
Ends up in the desert.
No, I'm serious. I never computed that. That's amazing. No, so it's definitely a great idea, and hopefully you guys can really pull it together, because it sounds like it's really going to help a lot more than just saving some people on food. It sounds like it's a bigger thing, so it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
What is there anything specific you guys want to talk about on the product, the app, what you guys want, what the features of it, how to use it, something that people would want to know about it?
Well, we can how to use it, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
And where to find it, how to download it.
Yeah, exactly. So BonApp UAE in App Store or Google Play, that's where you find it. And at the moment, the app is quite simple. Like, we don't have pictures of food, we don't have delivery, just because it's new, and we thought, let's start with something simple, get the message out, and then we'll develop it after the feedback as well. So we really, really appreciate all the feedback we get, both from, customers who are using it and from the restaurant, so we can actually make a product that, everybody wants to use and makes sense. So, now when you just want to buy something, it's basically like other food apps on the market. You just click on the item, you connect your credit card, and then you buy it in the app, obviously using your credit card, and then you get a receipt on the mobile, and then you go and show this receipt to the restaurant. And the deals are time sensitive because they are daily, so you just have to be mindful of the timing when the deal ends, and that's usually the closing time for the restaurant. But and very soon, next month, we're already releasing a brand new version of the app, which will have more features. So there will be like a filtering system, you can follow your favorite, delivery as well, and we'll add other like meal plans and these grocery boxes that you can buy and other things. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, we're looking to expand on the concept quite a lot. So obviously step by step. But
probably the most important was to make sure it worked.
Yeah.
Make sure you can execute the idea.
And also to get, and for people to understand the concept. And now we've gotten, I think, a lot of great feedback, so we know what to work on as well. And also, I think, ultimately, when we actually released the app, we didn't know that we're going to get, so much traction, because suddenly a lot of cafes wanted to sign up with us, and we got a lot of customers.
That's awesome.
And then, in the beginning we thought, why do we need a filtering system if we only have maybe 30 restaurants? Whatever you're going to search for, it's going to say, there's nothing here to see. So it's better just to have, but honestly, it's better just to have the list. This are the 30 restaurants that you can use. And then suddenly we launched with 80.
Wow.
And then, then it becomes a bit messy. So
we actually thought that we had a target. Oh, let's launch with 15, 20. That will be good enough. And then we launched with 80. So
Wow.
And as they say, if you're not embarrassed about your product, then you launch too late.
Yes.
So
can I just tell you, as a marketing company, my first website, you would probably laugh at me. I made my first website on GoDaddy Builder. I would be embarrassed to admit that was my website. Trust me. And it's funny because I was telling this story one time. I was trying to talk to someone about marketing, and I was talking about the website, and they were almost shocked because I was like, oh yeah, my first website was horrible. They're like, you're a marketing company and your website was horrible? I was like, yeah, technically, I built it myself on GoDaddy Web Builder, It was like I just clicked and put things. I was like, all right, it's a website. All right, I'm going live. I'm telling everybody I'm a marketing company. So I totally.
No, it's definitely learning by doing. And since unfortunately we don't have a tech background ourselves, so sometimes you don't really, realize the full potential of an app, for example.
There is a saying about being an entrepreneur. It's like jumping off a skyscraper and learning how to build a plane on the way down. And it's so true.
That's how it is.
You just have to jump and you just got to figure it out. And I think that people that are meant to be entrepreneurs, they just have that instinct and that survival skill that they just figure it out, you know? And I think a lot of people that struggle trying to become entrepreneurs should just take the jump and go for it. And if you're not meant to be an entrepreneur, you just go back to work. It's fine. Like, everything is fine. But at least you did it. And you'll be amazed as you get down that journey that you just get better and better and better slowly. And then next thing you know, you're just doing it. And you're just living it. And it's happening in real time, and you're not contemplating it anymore. You're just in the moment, you know, it just takes over. And not everybody gets to experience it, but once you experience it, you could never go back.
I think you need to be a certain kind, you know, type of person maybe who enjoys uncertainty. Because a lot of times we wake up in the morning, we have no idea what's going to happen, but we manage to pack our days anyways, you know. And it's just a lot of fun for me. I love that.
No, we do laugh a lot.
We laugh, we cry, we do a bit of everything. But it's also fun when you start hearing about other, you know, startup stories, you know, how they started off. Because obviously at this point, now we've just been live for, you know, 2 months. If you ask me in a year's time, I'm going to have a lot of, you know, fun stories to tell you. But even at this point, you know, when we started, when we said, okay, let's do this. If we think about it, if we backtrack, you know, we would probably have done everything differently. But you didn't know.
You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
And that's the thing. And then you listen to other startup stories, you know, everything from, I don't know, writing, you know, a 40-page business plan, which is like your Bible. That's no one's going to read, you know? But you put so many hours into that, perfectioning it, you know, with every single sentence. Or, you know, how you start with maybe building an app as well, and then you realize that, well, this was crap. And you have to redo the whole thing again, you know? Or just, there's a lot of good stories, I think.
No, I hope you get to come back in a couple of months and tell the stories. It'll be awesome to hear how it's like evolved, you know? It'll be awesome. Well, I think that was a great episode number 2. I think you guys covered it. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we close it out?
Just download BonApp. Enjoy a good deal.
You want to maybe shout out your Instagram, the actual handle? Is it just BonApp, at BonApp?
BonApp UAE.
Okay. Underscore. BonApp _UAE.
BonApp _UAE. Okay, on Instagram.
And please do get in touch with us as well with any feedback or anything at all.
Awesome.
And join our, what we call, BonApp movement.
BonApp movement.
Nice. Let's save some food together.
Let's save some food. I like it. All right, you finished it with a cool little saying there. That's awesome. Okay, so I thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
This is our second episode, and I really appreciate your guys' time, and I'm excited about your guys' project.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're excited about yours as well. Thank you, William.
Thank you.